guys, our guest today is Irfan Lalani. Irfan is the founder of non-profit called Code to Enhance Learning with a vision that kids code to express and solve problems. Irfan is based in Ahmedabad, India. Hey Irfan, welcome to the show. We are so pleased to have you on the show.
Hi Nazim, thank you very much for inviting me, on this show. Really excited to be, part of this. Yeah, and I think, we can get started.
Okay. All right. So before I start, Irfan, I would like to read a quote, and I feel it kind of resonates with you. So, it's a quote by Oprah Winfrey. Start. You have to find what sparks a light in you, so that you, in your own way, can illuminate the world. Stop quote. So, Irfan, what I find fascinating about your journey is, you are kind of sparking a light in every kid kind of with your coding skills and with your teaching. So I think this kind of resonates with you, so I just wanted to read about that. So Irfan, let's get started. Tell us about your journey. Give us an overview.
Sure. So I think this is a very, wonderful quote. I had, read it before.
Hmm.
Uh, so I think I'll start with the quote itself,
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So when you generally in India, when kids start growing up, so I think the more focus is about that, how can you get that kind of a job, and
Right,
maybe before that, how can you get that kind of percentage in your 10th grade,
right.
and then 12th grade, and have a professional degree, which could be an engineering or a doctor, and then how can you buy a house and get married, and that's how the success looks like.
Right, right.
So I think I also started with the same, I was also I grew up in the same environment, where the
Hmm.
parents and the relatives had the same expectation. and I was born in Mumbai, then we shifted to Ahmedabad, and then we I lived in couple of cities. I was
Hmm.
there with you in Hyderabad,
Yeah,
where we were in
for
hostel
long, yeah.
together, and that's when I got to know about you. So I did engineering, mechanical engineering from MS University of Baroda. So I got good percentage, in 10th grade and 12th grade. So I
Hmm.
come from a low middle class family background, where the expectation, from the kids is that you need to study, so that you can get out of this condition, the condition of maybe where you don't have the luxuries. So that was the prime goal at that time. And most of my time would go into studies, and just going through the things which are taught in school. Yeah, so that's how I got into engineering.
Hmm.
uh, did my engineering from Baroda. It's a very good university.
Hmm.
uh, like got to know many different things, and then landed up in a job in Tata.
Hmm.
So where I used to work as a design engineer. So where
Hmm.
we would simulate robots to see how they are going to work in automobile industry.
Nice.
However, throughout this whole period, there was one thing which was very constant,
Hmm.
which was urged to give it back to others.
Right.
So throughout my whole childhood, from 8th grade, I haven't paid fees of my school.
Hmm.
So it either would be I would got a scholarship from our Jamaat Khana, or
Right.
so it would be in that way, or some donor would be there who would be helping me with the studies.
Right.
So there was constantly something at the back of my mind, that I have to keep giving this to maybe other kids. So I used to volunteer a lot throughout my college, and when I went into Pune to this job, so I used to
Right.
volunteer a lot. So
Hmm.
when I started working, so at that time it was really exciting. But then after a time, as you said, that there is a quote that you want to find
Right.
your inner light. Okay, so so the purpose starts
Purpose.
coming. Yeah, that why I am doing this, is it something which I should be doing this, or is it something more which I should explore myself with. So teaching was something which I liked a lot. Coding was something which came into my life again and again, and though I'm not a professional coder, but
Hmm.
these were two things which kept on coming again and again in my life.
Right.
So while volunteering with one of the non-profits in Pune, it's called Akanksha Foundation, where they have their learning centers and they have schools. So I used to go. So we used to have night shifts, like evening shifts. So I would go in morning and work with kids over there, assist teacher, and that's how I realized that maybe this is something I want to do.
Right.
And I got an opportunity, got introduced to Teach for India fellowship. So it's a fellowship where you go for 2 years in a
Mhm.
low income school, and then you try to teach kids over there as a regular teacher. However, the idea is that by working with kids, you get to understand more about yourself.
Mm.
And after fellowship, you can do something related, to education.
Right.
So after I got through the fellowship, for 2 years, so the experience was very I would say overwhelming, because
Mhm.
you would see kids with the same spark and energy on the other side, and it would take you back to your life, that I was also something
Like,
like this, and maybe these are the opportunities which I didn't get, so maybe this kids should get. So at
right.
the time, we used to explore so many things which would be related to problem solving, which would be related to sports, because I thought besides academics, these are very important aspects of a holistic learning.
Mhm.
So that's when I
Right.
got to know about coding, that it's been used in US and other countries to build
Mm.
21st century skills. So I
Right.
started teaching coding to kids and saw exciting outcomes. Kids were very excited about it because they would create something
Mhm.
which would they would be learning about their classroom or about their community. So I thought
Right.
they should reach out to more kids. So I
Right.
published a book called Code with Scratch to Enhance Learning,
Right.
with no
Right.
background of writing a book. I would go to. I remember I have gone to 50 publishers asking them can you publish this book, and it's really important for kids.
Right.
But then I would not hear any reply from them. Then I self-published the book, and the book tanked very badly. So so the one of the learning, though it tanked very badly, I got to learn after interacting with people in the schools and the
Mm.
teachers, that though the content is really nice, but they don't have any expertise to implement this. And now recently in India, we have started talking about bringing coding from grade 6, but at that time 3 years back, that was not the case. People were
Right.
not aware of what coding is actually.
Right.
So I thought of transitioning out of my role. So at that time I was working as a program manager in Teach for India. So
Mhm.
I thought I should transition out, and maybe because I had that Gujju wala spark also is there, no, that
Right.
you want to be an
Start your.
entrepreneur and you
Right.
want to do something of your own. So I think that was also there in the blood, and that's
Right.
how I registered this organization called Code to Enhance Learning. So
Right.
currently, Code to Enhance Learning is a non-profit which works out of Ahmedabad.
Mhm.
And we have reached out to 2,500 children and work with low income schools, high income schools as well, where the overall idea is that how you can use coding as a tool. We don't want to build
Right.
coders, so that's not
Right.
the idea, but
Right.
how it could be used as a tool, like how you have crayons, how do you have pencil, how do you
Right.
have storybooks. So in the same way, how coding could act as a tool to build 21st century skills. So I think this is the journey up till now.
Something to look forward to. You are doing a great work. So going back a bit, Irfan, I want to ask you, like, it must have been like an extremely difficult decision to leave your job, right? Your first job. Tell me a bit about it. What was the driving force to leave everything behind and just jump into teaching?
So when I reflect back right now, so there was not one particular reason which triggered me कि अरे I should do teaching, and I should take up this responsibility
Right.
at that stage of my life. Because imagine, uh, honestly, this was the first time in my family someone is earning this much.
Wow.
And yeah, and it's a very difficult decision to
Yeah.
give that up and go back and work at a salary which is going to be one fourth or maybe one fifth of what you are earning currently. It was really like difficult decision, but I think one or couple of things like which led to it was that I was not able to see any purpose of getting up every day and going to work. So
Yeah.
it became very I was very mechanical, I would say, where
Yeah.
I would excel at my job. I would do all the things in a very good way, I would say. So there were no complaints that I'm sitting
Right.
over there and I'm lost somewhere. It
Right.
wouldn't happen. But at the end of the day, or maybe at the beginning of the day, I won't have something exciting to look
Yeah.
forward to. And honestly, when I used to see my managers, it did inspire me a lot because I didn't want to be like them. So this was one of the reasons that I failed to see any purpose, that how I'm utilizing my youth or maybe my skills
Yeah.
right now, how I'm growing as a person. I believe in empathy a lot, but I think at that time there were certain actions of mine which made me realize that love and empathy are decreasing a lot day by day, and I'm
Right.
not growing into that. So that was one trigger for me. The other trigger was that all these things which were missing, I was able to see in the volunteering work. So when I
Right.
used to see people in the non-profit sector, so I used to really like them a lot. They are sacrificing for others. They are having a good life as well.
Mm.
And at the same time they are able to make some kind of difference in lives of other kids. So
Right.
this was the other triggering thing, if I wouldn't have been volunteering, then I would have been in the same state of mind. So I think that gave me a vision that I should try something for this. The other thing was my family needed me at that time in Ahmedabad. So I
Mm.
tried to got my job shifted to Ahmedabad, but that was not happening. And
Right.
whereas this Teach for India fellowship, it was starting in Ahmedabad.
Mm.
So I saw this as a sign of universe, and I said I should do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it started. Yeah. So these were the three reasons I would say.
Yeah, I can totally relate to your how you must be feeling in a corporate world. I can totally relate. I know it's a frustrating feeling sometimes. Like you kind of get stuck and you are not going, like moving outside of your comfort zone and things like that. So yeah, that was like really really great move. All right, so I want to, like, if you can briefly tell me, because a lot of people also get demotivated, कि मैं कैसे job छोड़ दूंगा, something like that. Like they are always worried and they want to continue. So if, like, just to tell them, like, or give them little bit motivation, what were the reactions of people who were close to you?
So I think there would be a mixed. So whenever you do something, I think
Right.
how the world works. So
Right.
everything, there is no black and white, but it
Right.
would be gray. Things are going to be gray.
Yeah.
So I just want to tell this story. So I went to my manager and who was really at a very at a
Senior.
higher hierarchy level, senior position, and I said that I'm going to try this up. So there is a waiver, so I needed a waiver, from them. So I said I need a waiver, I'm going to transition out and I'm going to do this.
Mhm.
And that person laughed at me and he said if everyone someone tells me that I want to do something for nation and I want to build a BrahMos missile, so I'm not going to keep on wavering it for everyone.
Mm.
So that was also one of the reason that I said I'm not going to work for this person right
Yeah.
now. No
Yeah.
matter what, I would do something else. But now it's final. I'm not going to do work for this person right now. So I think there are mixed kind of responses. So some of my family members were really against it because they knew that so from the background where you are coming from, it's very important for you to be financially stable. Otherwise, you will not have the house and you will not get married.
Yeah.
So that's the logic, how people
Right.
generally operate here in India. So I think it was
Stereotype.
same. Yeah. So, but my mother was supportive about it because she was if you want to do something, go try it out. Just make sure that we have enough food on the plate.
Mm.
So which I was very confident about. And I think one thing, like, which I keep on saying this to, like, people around. So,
Hmm.
like, how do you do something like this? So, like, people keep on asking me, like,
Yeah.
that it's a very difficult decision to take, like, so I
Right.
think you need, what I feel is, like, you need very basic things in your life.
Right.
uh, and when, like, from those basic things, if you will start making, like, it to, like, at 20s, if you are feeling that, like, I need to make a tour to the world, and, like, some very, like, I know, like, people can have different perspectives, and I really acknowledge, like, everyone's idea or
Hmm.
how they want to, like, live. But if you want to do something, like, which is very different, so I think you need to bring down your life at a very, like, in a very simplicity, I think.
Basic.
So when your expenses are going to go down, I'm sure that that kind of minimum expenses, like, people are able to, like, they are able to, like, meet those expenses. And at the same time, they would get an opportunity to do something, like, which, like, they really like. They would
Right.
be excited in their life, and at the same time they would have the opportunity, like, if this, the work
Right.
would be, like, really challenging in the beginning,
Right.
because you are going to learn so much, like, every day, and there would be so much of failure. But
Right.
that's how you are going to give something to the world, like, which is your light, like, how you started the code.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Unless
so
you don't try, you don't get. You have to try. Yeah. I agree.
yeah. Yeah, so I think that's what my learning has been, like, that if you want to do something, like, which is different, so I think keep your expenses, like, very minimum, so that you don't, and, like, so that you don't go into, like, that kind of lifestyle which you don't really need it.
Right.
And at the same time, you would be very happy, excited, like, what the things which you are doing, and you will get the comfort, I think, that I hope right now, like,
Yeah.
when you keep on working and doing good job. Yeah.
Basically, obviously make some kind of sacrifice for your lifestyle and things like that, but it's like for a longer thing. Yeah, so I totally hear you. Yeah. So tell me, Irfan, what were some of your observations from the whole Teach for India experience?
Mm. So I think with Teach for India, I'll tell you, like, my first day at Teach for India. So so I, like, if you know, we have grown up in, like, boys hostel,
Right.
mechanical engineering, like, uh, uh, like, there were no girls in the, like, in
Right.
my whole, like, there were three girls actually in the whole group or in my whole class. So when you went into, like, when you go into TFI the first day, you will see, like, there are so many girls around. And this is on the funny note, like, I'm saying. So coming from a background, like, where you are not confident about something,
Mm-hmm.
you haven't spoken in English, like, throughout your whole schooling, and that's when, like, a girl comes, like, in front of you and says hi, and, like, starts blabbering in English, and you don't know, like, how to say or what to say. So just you keep saying yes or no. So that so that was my first day at TFI. Okay. And why I'm saying this is, when I left TFI, I was, like, so the whole journey, like, was designed in a
Mm-hmm.
way that it, like, contributes to your personal learning as well.
Right.
So which means, like, when you go out and when you teach someone, you yourself, like, learn so many things, like, from it. So how
Right.
the program has been designed, that though you go and teach, but then there are, like, you keep on solving problems, like, for the kids towards a vision. So you set a vision, like, for the kids, that my kids are supposed to, like, go here, and whatever challenges they are going to face, like, in between, so you keep on, like, overcoming that. And while
Okay.
doing so, you do so much of collaboration, you do so much of critical thinking. There are so many platforms you have to go and speak over there. So I think the journey becomes very organic, like, your development journey becomes very organic. And you have a support, like, in terms of different sessions where, like, inspiring people are coming in, to, like, share their journeys. You can ask them question. You have a coach assigned to you who keeps on, like, helping you to move ahead in your, like, towards the vision. So I think that's how the program is been designed. And the kind of diversity you get in, like, so you have engineers, you have people those who are from art, and
Hmm.
you find very different kinds of personalities, people from US, those who are from Indian origin, they would come back just for 2 years because they want to try out the lifestyle in India, and they want to teach and they want to grow. So there would be a group of very different kinds of personalities, so you get to learn from that a lot. So there is a core structure to it, but then there is a flexibility and there is a a good amount of ecosystem. So I think that's the best kind of environment or
Environment.
ecosystem you could get to build your leadership skills. So
Right.
I think that's how the years went by. By the end of 2 years, I saw that my kids got I think 4 years of growth in literacy and math. We did coding. uh, there was one very inspiring story, so when I started teaching, so my
Hmm.
the students whom I used to teach, they were not able to read the letters in English. But by the end of the 2 years, so they were invited to a platform, we won a competition called Design for Change. So in that there were around 2000 schools, and our school was in top 10 or top some top, we were there. And this girl was invited on the stage, and the the presenter over there thought because this girl is dressed up in a in a kind of uniform which is from a affordable school, so she won't be good with English, and they asked her question in Hindi.
Hmm.
But then the girl replied in English, and that was when people started clapping around. So I think that was one of the moments which touches you, and you can't forget those things. So that's how the whole journey went by. Uh, in personally in me, I got so much confidence out of this, because as you get keep on getting opportunities and you try to do something, you fail again, but you keep on trying. So I think now by the end of the year, I took a session for 86 teachers on that how you make your ideas grow. So that
Hmm.
was the shift in the confidence level, from how I started to how I ended up. And then that was a continuous learning after which gives you a mindset that you have to keep on doing this again and again to grow. Yeah, so that's how the journey of TFI was.
So Irfan, going a bit ahead, so then you went ahead and started code to enhance learning for coding, right? So tell us more about that, and also if you can spend more time on like why do you think coding is important? What are your short-term, long-term goals with code to enhance learning? So yeah.
Sure. So how this journey of coding started, specifically. So one day I was sitting in my classroom, and we used to have so there's one important component in our whole fellowship, that we have to keep on collecting data of students. So
Right.
how the students are growing, and there is an Excel sheet where you have to fill in those data, and they go up to the leadership team. So I was filling those datas during the lunch break or something like that. And there was a kid called Feroz, who was sitting beside me, and he was continuously watching.
Hmm.
Okay, oh, Bhaiya is doing this. So Bhaiya is teacher, brother, I would say. So he's doing something like this, and he was very fascinated. So I asked him that what you are looking right now, what are you excited about? So he said, Bhaiya, I really want to learn computer, how you are working on it. So I
Hmm.
asked him that you get chance to work on computers, no, you have a computer period. So at that time I just used to teach English literacy, math,
Hmm.
and those kind of core subjects, but computer and regional languages wouldn't be my responsibility.
Right.
So he said that we get to sit on computers, but that is once in a while. And it's more of just theory, and so that's how the computer classes were designed. So I started popping in into their classrooms when the computer class would go on. And for 6 months I observed that kids would just make a flower or a computer within a computer on Paint. And that's
Hmm.
how they spend 6 months. And
Wow.
imagine when you have a vision of bringing kids to a level which is at par, and where you want them to solve problems. And if this is what, like, how the computer, which is, like, one of the important tools right now. So there was a survey which says, like, that right now there are, I don't know if there are 20 billion devices which are connected to internet right now. So it's part of our life. And if kids are not able to explore it, like, in a very holistic manner where they are able to create with it, so I think that is going to, like, keep them not at par, like, with the other, like, kids. So then I started, like, researching that how computers should be taught. I got to see resources of code.org. uh, then what happened was I raised some funds to, like, fix the computers, get internet to the classroom. But the funds, like, just they get just, like, they flew up, like, in air just within 2 months. And I said, like, this is not going to work, like, if I keep raising funds. So then I got to know about Scratch, which is, like, an offline, there is an offline version when you, where you can have it in your computer. There is no resources available, like, in India right now to teach, like, programming languages to kids. So I started making my own resources. um, People started liking it a lot, so I used to share and document those things with others. And then I got an idea to, like, publish a book. So as I said, like, that book didn't work out. Then I thought, like, there should be an organization which, like, is deeply working with the schools in the implementation of it. So there are people those who keep on doing, like, so many things on the higher level, but it doesn't actually seep in
Go to
to
the
the
ground.
kids. Yeah. So I said, like, I don't want to do anything at the senior level because there are so many people over there. I just want to work with the kids. And it's okay if in my life, if I am able to work with, like, 1,000 kids, but if they, like, are able to, like, do something and they are confident, so I think that would be, like, one of my goals, like, at that time. Uh, yeah. So the idea is actually to reach the kids, like, no matter what, how slow you go, if you are not able to scale, that's okay. But then that one kid after the class should feel happy, excited, when, like, he or she moves out of the class. So that's how, like, it started. Then there was one question, like, which you asked, that why coding is important.
Right, right.
Yeah. So I think, like, coding is basically, like, is you give instructions, like, to a computer, and, like, it does something for you. Okay. So that's it, like, that's what coding is. So Nazim, if you will see our real life, we get so many instructions, like, throughout the day.
Right, right.
Okay. So you just see your whole day, like, so you there are so many instructions, like, for kids it would be like, when I ask them questions, they would say, my mother is saying, like, to do this. My mother is saying to eat properly. So these
Right,
are all instructions. Okay.
right.
Now, what coding teaches you, that how, what kind of instructions, like, you are supposed to give. Because computer is a very dumb kid. Okay. So it is going to do what you are going to, like, tell it to the computer. And you
Right.
would have realized that in senior, like, leadership position, often there are mistakes made because the instructions are not clear, or if the instructions are not given, like, in a proper way. Okay. You would have heard about the Napoleons, like, that war, like, he lost because one message, like, was not communicated, like, properly. So I think that's what the importance of, like, giving instructions is. So as I said before, we are not aiming that this kid, like, should pursue computer science. But when you go into the process of coding, you learn so many skills, like how do you sequence your instructions, which
Right.
is one of the important skills when you do math, when you do writing. Because how do you sequence your letter, or how do you sequence your block so that it becomes exciting, like, for the people those who are reading it. How do you plan before you start writing, like, doing something, like, so that's what happens, like, in coding
Right.
as well. So why coding is to be taught, because there are so many skills you can, like, learn it from them. Okay.
Right.
And I'm not saying this is the only tool, because if there is a teacher who is, like, good, that could be done through art, that could be done through music, that could be done through dance. What I feel
Right.
is that I have a skill of coding which I am able to bring in into the community. Kids
Right.
like to work with the digital devices a lot. So there is a survey which says that 2.5 percentage more, like, kids from low income areas, like, they want to work on the digital
Right.
devices more. So I think all these facts, gives us, if we want to grow, this 21st century skills, which is critical thinking, creativity, you have to, write n number of codes before you are able to, get a proper code. So there is so much perseverance, which goes behind it. So I think these are the skills, which gets built if your curriculum and pedagogy on coding has been designed properly. So I think that's why it's important for kids to learn coding so that
Yeah.
they can grow those 21st century skills.
Yeah. So Irfan, since you already moved to, the CEL Kids Hackathon, tell us some more about that. Just briefly, if you can talk about like what are you trying to achieve and what that competition is.
Sure. So when I started doing the whole research about what's the problem, which which India is facing, why coding is not coming up. So one of the problem was that we don't have a curriculum, there is no national curriculum which is present. The second problem was that there is no expertise in the country which knows that how we are supposed to teach coding to kids.
Right.
Though there are so many conversations it keeps on happening, but
Hmm.
if you will go and actually on the ground, you won't see anything that how it is supposed to be done. And the third major problem was about that people don't know what coding is and what could be the benefit of it. So I
Right.
think that's one of the very important problem, when people are not going to ask for it, there would be no demand of it, and people are not going to start making solutions for it. So
Right.
for the first two reasons, we started making curriculum, and most of the curriculum is open source right now, which people can go. There are videos which people can see, they can learn. So that's how we are trying to work on the first two core areas of the problem or the root cause. For the third cause, we said that how we can make people more aware about coding. So
Right.
that's when the idea of starting competitions came in, where if there is a healthy competition and kids are able to showcase that what they can create, and I'm sure there would be people like me who are doing this in different parts of India. So how we can create a platform for them to come together and showcase the skills. So that's how CL Kids Hackathon started, which is an event. It's a collaborative coding event, as I said, where two kids participate together, and they are supposed to find out a problem in their community which is aligned to UN Sustainable Development Goal.
Right.
They make application games or animation which is on scratch. They
Hmm.
submit it to us. We hire we get some experts from the field who help us
Hmm.
in the evaluation process. There are certain criterias that we look into which are very skill based, like how the problem has been designed, how the design of the application looks like. So I think the platform of CL Hackathon tries to showcase the work of the kids, and that's how it tries to promote coding in India.
Yeah. And if I may ask, last year how many kids participated? And it happens it's open for anyone across India, right? Basically.
Yeah. So the competition is it's pan India, so it is open across any city. So we have got entries from very small town or villages around Bhuj, I would say, to all the metro cities. So we have got 1,264 entries we got in 2020, which was really exciting.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, and they came from I think 10 different cities. Yeah, so that's how it looked like. So next year we have kept a target of 2,500 children. And one of the exciting thing we did this time was that first the entries for all of for the affordable schools were free. So they didn't have to pay the registration fees, and we try to raise funds for them. uh,
Wow.
and also we collaborated with one of the schools in Ahmedabad, so where it's called Riverside School. So their kids went and taught into this affordable school which didn't have the teachers and where they don't have the expertise. So they
Hmm.
went for 10 weeks every Saturday, teaching 1.5 hours to kids, and because of that their journey started. So I think that was really inspiring, like, that how much kids are, they want to, like, be part of the change and they want to do something.
Right.
Imagine every Saturday after a very hard week, you get up in morning around 7 or 6, you drive 1.5 kilometers away because, sorry, not 1.5 hours away, okay, to reach to those schools because they were living in some other part of the city and the schools were in some other part of the city. Their parents were really, like, supportive about this. That, so I think this is what, like, we, what happened in 2020, and we are looking forward to that, how this model, like, could grow more, where either volunteers from, like, colleges, they come in, or maybe, like, kids from other, like, schools, they come in and, like, start teaching for the hackathons at least, so that the journey, like, keeps on moving ahead, like, for other kids.
Yeah, I really hope you are able to reach more and more kids, and more power to you, Irfan. Yeah. So let's move on to some fun round, Irfan. I'll ask you basically this or that. You just have to choose between the two. So let's get started. All right. So this or that. Here we go. Coffee or tea?
I love tea.
Tea. Okay. Ocean or mountains?
Ocean.
Okay. Bollywood or Hollywood?
I love Hollywood movies more than Bollywood. Yes,
Okay.
because they
Winter
have
or
a meaning to it. Yeah.
winter or summer?
I don't like any of them. Uh, yeah, it's very hard for me in both the, like, seasons, but I would prefer summer still.
Summer. Okay. Call or text?
Text. Calling, I'm introvert. It's very hard for me to get on calls.
I see. Money or fame?
Uh, I am not inspired by any of them.
Okay.
I think both the things are needed, thoda thoda, to, like, keep on moving. But I don't have any answer to this. Yeah.
Right, right. Okay. All right. Okay. So, yeah. So, moving on to the next round. What fictional character you wish you could meet?
Fictional character. Uh, I think I would love to meet Iron Man.
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
Why Iron Man? Because I like the charisma of that person, and, like, how he is able to use his skills, like, to do something very fun.
Right,
Yeah. So
right,
yeah.
right. Is there anything you wish you taught but can't?
Oh, I would love to teach dance, but I can't
Oh,
dance.
yeah. Same problem with me. All right. So, what new object would you have in your classroom and why?
I would love to get, like, one of those Asimo robots, like, in Japan, like, which they have started. Why I would do that is, like, because in India there are so many kids, and generally, like, generally there are so many kids in classroom that it makes the life of teacher, like, very hectic. So if there are emotional troubles, I think the kid could go to the robot, like, and just talk about the feelings, because teachers have a hard time, like, hearing about all the emotions, like, they go
The
through. So I think that would be one thing to have in the classroom.
Yeah, yeah. That's a very good answer. Yeah. Your favorite holiday destination?
I haven't been to any holidays right abhi tak, but I just want to go to
Oh, you
Goa
want?
sometime, or maybe, yeah, maybe Gokarna beach. I have heard about it, so one day I would love to go to these two places.
Nice, nice. Favorite show or movie?
In COVID, I started watching Suits.
Oh, nice.
So Suits, yeah, I really loved it because it teaches you so much about your family and how you solve problems. So yeah, so I love that. Movies, I think I love all the movies where are, like, where there are cops, and they, like, like Singham.
Oh,
And I love movies with mafia thing also. So,
right.
like, Godfather is, like, one of my favorite movie. Yeah, Shawshank Redemption is, like, one of my favorite movies. So
Yeah.
yeah,
If you could have dinner with anyone from history, who would it be?
I would love to have a dinner with Hitler, I would say, just to
Sorry.
understand Hitler.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah, just to understand, like, what went into his mind to do
Mind.
something like that. Yeah,
Right. Right. Any books recommendation?
I don't read much. I'm more of a person like who likes to watch videos and learn. I have hardly read 6 or 7 books. I don't have any recommendation because I was barely able to finish them.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So yep.
But yeah, maybe you can recommend your book for sure. Anyone who wants to start coding, please read
Yes,
Irfan's book.
please
I really
buy. It's
hope.
available on Amazon. You can go and buy.
Right, right, yeah. Yeah, so Irfan, I think that's it. It was really, really nice and very inspiring to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much. Nazim, I just want to have make a very small pitch right now.
Sure, sure, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, so you would have heard a story about the starfish. So there was one guy who went to an ocean, or
Mhm,
maybe a beach where there was there were so many starfishes which were on the beach. And there was one very small girl who was throwing one starfish at a time.
mhm,
And the man was very clueless what this girl is doing right now, throwing one
mhm,
starfish at a time. There are hundreds of fish over here, nothing is going to change like this.
mhm,
So the man goes by near the girl, and he was very curious, and he asked her that why you are doing this, it's not going to make any difference. You are wasting your energy right now. So the girl threw one fish with very much vigor,
mhm,
and she said it's going to make a difference for that fish. So
mhm,
I think for the past 6 years my journey has been very similar to that girl, where when I started the idea was that people said that एक एक बच्चे को कोडिंग सिखा के कुछ नहीं होने वाला है, and
mhm,
all those things. But I think now it's growing up, and I think it's a very fundamental for the kids journey, how they are going to grow up. So there is a World Economic Forum's report which says that these skills are really important, and coding
mhm.
could be one of the things which could help them. With COVID, right now we have lost connect to our kids. We are not able to reach out to them because the schools are closed. And and we are finding out ways that how we should reach out to them. So in a
Mhm.
survey we got to know that mobile phones is something which these kids are able to access it. So we
Right.
have designed something called CLCS Unplug Challenge,
Right.
where we are where I have got a team from Harvard, from Teach for India, and they are volunteering along with me, and we are creating very exciting videos which are very small 8-minute videos.
Mhm.
And the idea is that uh, so how you see that how Google Maps work. So
Right.
where there's an algorithm which goes behind that. So kids are supposed to learn that basic algorithm through a video, and then we are going to give them a challenge that how they could apply that algorithm into a different context. And we
Mhm.
believe that this process is going to be very fun and engaging for the kids. We have already started doing this, and we have received very positive responses right now.
Mhm.
So there are
Right.
300 those who are signed up right now, which are all from affordable school. Uh, and just to do this more, we are looking forward to have more fun. So I don't know how you are going to share it out with this with people. But if there is if people would have heard something in this whole conversation which would have inspired them, or they would have liked about it, so I think I would invite them to come along with me and throw a starfish along with me back to the sea. And we would make a small difference in lives of these kids. So yeah, we are raising
Yeah,
one
so
lakh
Irfan,
30,000 right
yeah, on
now.
that note, we would love to, whenever we share the video, we would love to share all the info or maybe link to your website. So yeah, we would do all we can. So yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, please share with us and then we'll, have it in our comment section or in our video sharing.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Thank you so much, Irfan. Yeah, thanks.